Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Big show today to recap everything that happened this week. But it's going to be way more than just that. I'm going to talk about, did we capitulate in crypto? I'm going to talk about rough week, of course, with everything that's going on. Why these things are going on. And are altcoins dead? Also, this is going to be a video about allocations. There's so much FUD out there with the twits on Twitter saying all sorts of crazy things. So I'm going to put those to rest in this video as well and talk about how I do. And by the way, everything I do, I publish openly and transparently in real time on Patreon. So there's a full record out there. Anyway, let's just jump in. We're going to talk about allocations, altcoins, SEC, the Fed, Tesla, a lot to cover. So let's just jump in. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the mods in the chat. And of course, this is not financial advice. It's just what I do. And if you want to amplify your intelligence, subscribe. So look forward to seeing you on the inside. Also, the story today, I just mentioned it, so we'll skip that. But we're going to be covering a truckload of content. Very, very important alpha. First of all, what happened this week? And I'm the last person, hey Clint, I'm the last person who likes to talk about legal stuff, but it's impacting everything. So quick summary of exactly what went down this week and what upset everything is Binance was sued by the SEC with 13 charges. Some of them were quite serious. Coinbase sued for acting as an unlicensed broker. Interesting. We'll talk more about Brian Armstrong and Coinbase later. SEC files court documents to try freeze Binance assets. Of course, they couldn't so far. Binance accused of running illegal exchange in US. And Coinbase, we will get the job done in court. Probably the most important thing, thank you, Iron, is Coinbase. Because they are not going to stop you trading. And the on-ramps and off-ramps work just fine. I was using them late last night. Trading, moving money on, moving coins off, moving stable coins in, etc., working flawlessly. So let's talk about exactly what's going on. Yesterday, I did warn about Robinhood and some sell pressure. Boy, did we get some sell pressure last night. I thought we'd have a couple of days, but there was some big hit going on, and it rattled some of the top names that we were talking about that were listed in this, these being Solana, Cardano, MATIC. Watch them carefully yesterday. So Chokepoint 2.0 hat tip to Ran for a little bit of the inspiration for this. But he broke down today in a video kind of the first 2 or 3 parts of what Chokepoint is all about. And this is an important reminder, everybody, again. First of all, they cut off the on-ramps by killing liquidity, killing all the crypto banks. Yes, check. They did that. Second, they issue action, Kraken to stop doing staking, Binance, Coinbase, like I just mentioned. And this hurts the top alts first. So I'll step out for a second. Those people believe the other alts are safe. No, they're not. They're not. Because, again, everything is a security with the exception of Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people believe Ethereum is a security because of staking. But enough of that. We covered that in a previous video this week. So, step 4. It kills the top alt price action. And it makes people kind of maybe go away and give up on crypto altogether. And then the final step 5, I think they could go after secondary altcoins as we go forward. Not sure, but we'll see. So that's kind of quick reminder as to what Chokepoint is. Now, over the last 5 days, let's look at the tokens impacted. And somehow Binance fell off this chart. That was very important because Binance was hit hard too. But I do have Bitcoin. I do have Ethereum. And what's stunning about these two, first of all, is there was a time where actually Ethereum was holding up better than Bitcoin, which is impressive. But you can see here for the week, Ethereum's down 3% and Bitcoin's flat over the last 5 days, 0.27% drop. Then we have Solana down 25%. A lot of that hit came yesterday. We could kind of see it happening. We'll talk more about that in a second too. Cardano down 27.48% and MATIC down 32.09%. Big hit there. And the question is, why? Well, a lot of people believe it was this. It's a fake, looks like a fake Financial Times page because I couldn't find it in the Financial Times, but they said, Scimitar Capital, which I never heard of, our fund has made the strategic decision to liquidate our crypto holdings and return our capital to the esteemed LPs. So who the hell would sell crypto on a Friday night when nobody's around and there's no volume? Of course, it'll tank prices. But I do believe that's fake news for a couple of reasons. One, never heard of them. Second, Friday night, who would dump? Third, did they really have that much, even if they did? No. And they only had a Twitter account that was created in March, apparently. And again, it's very unusual for such activity to happen. And there was another reason that just escapes my mind. Well, the Financial Times article looks a bit fake, etc. And you don't really say that type of stuff. It just seemed very fishy. So no, it's probably other things happening, maybe some other people dumping, etc. And also, when you do that type of activity late on a Friday, it doesn't take a lot of money to move markets because not a lot of people buying. Let's look at exchange volumes. They are tanking and have been since, I guess, March 2023, after all the excitement in Q1, where crypto was actually unbelievable. So I just want to take people back to the beginning of the year. The results have been really, really impressive so far. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the alts have done really, really well. We're not back at those levels yet. Some are, but not all. But the other hand, if you look at the thin volumes and the sharp drops, they present basically historically strong accumulation opportunities. And the rapid leveling off of price movements suggests that the damage is done and limited. And remember, I don't know, there could be more downside, but there could also be a bounce. Because people are completely overreacting to this whole thing. It's not, this guy Gary Gensler can't kill crypto. That's what I've been saying for a week until I'm blue in the face. I'm tired of saying it. Let's explain why with some data. So this is Binance.us. You can probably hardly see it. It's from Keiko. It's the gold color. In fact, they labeled Binance the same color as their logo, which is cool. You can't even see how significant it is. It's nothing. Now, Binance is big on planet Earth, controlling 54% of the market. 17 other exchanges fight over the other 46%. But the share that Binance.us has of volume is nothing. Nothing. It could disappear. It wouldn't be a blip on their P&L. That's what I've been talking about for a long time too, everybody. So, you know, I'm not saying anything bad against the US, but the US makes up 4% of the population. Yes, it has 20% of GDP, and the people here can be very rich in places, but they don't trade a lot of crypto like other places. In addition, when this happens, there's a beautiful little chart here. So you have the price action of Bitcoin when on the 5th of June, only 5 days ago, we're talking about the last 5 days a lot in this video today, SEC sues Binance. Bitcoin falls from 26,800 all the way down to 25,600. I have a limit order to buy. We got within $400 of it. Didn't fill. So, oh well. But then the other part of this funny story is the SEC sues Coinbase. Bitcoin goes back up. And of course, it's down again now, again a bit too. But it's like, Bitcoin doesn't care. It's like, whatever. And this is the proper reaction that the people out there should have. So let's talk about what I did yesterday. A lot of stuff flying around about, oh, you know, the usual stuff. IA sold Solana. I'm going to talk a bit about that today because I publish everything in real time and all the people in Patreon can attest to this. So 23 hours ago, I said in a clear statement, I was going to sell 15% of my Solana position because I felt it was at $18.16. I felt it was going to fall. It looked like it was going to fall. Looked like there was no buy support. It could tank. And my plan was to buy in later. Well, about 10 hours later, I did buy in. And that 15% got 35% larger in terms of tokens because I was able to buy back in at exactly $13.51 after selling 10 hours earlier for $18. So in and out, increasing the bag size. That's what I do. I'm a trader, okay? And people say, oh, he sold his Bitcoin, he sold his Solana, he transferred his Bitcoin into Tesla. He's, you know, I chase alpha. I'm not married to anything. So for all the haters out there, take that. Now, let's talk about Solana because I got a lot of questions about this. Will the SEC kill Solana? It's like, No. And this is a great article by Illustrious, just came out. And he said the Solana Foundation has come out strong against allegations made by the US SEC. And, that Solana is an unregistered security. And the Solana Foundation believes that Solana is not a security because of the way the token is structured, the way it's robust, the way the code is open source. Code is freedom of speech, therefore it's protected in the US. It is a community-based software, it's global, and it relies on decentralized user and developer engagement. Okay? And the community is confident that the regulatory challenges posed by the SEC will not dampen spirits or enthusiasm for the project. And the Solana Foundation's robust defense and continued support of their developer community are in place. Nothing has wavered. Okay, so let's look at another quick reminder. I did mention in a video earlier this week the importance of the Ripple case from XRP. So the Sol MATIC Cardano security battle with the SEC is reminiscent of a similar regulatory skirmish involving Ripple Labs and its native XRP token. In 2020, the SEC alleged Ripple conducted a $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering. Yeah, they probably did. And Ripple has managed to stay afloat despite these charges. It's just, as they say, TikTok next block. It's just business as usual. SEC is still trying to sue them. And I said in a video earlier this week, there's only a 3% chance that the SEC will actually win. Andy, you're up early. Thanks for being here. Or late. I'm so tired. I don't even know what time it is here. So let's talk about what's happening as well. In the cryptoverse, which is awesome, people are beginning to become friends again, to fight against the common enemy. So I don't understand why people are hurling kind of hate at me. We've got bigger problems, ladies and gentlemen. And Charles Hoskinson reached his hand out to the XR community for peace, which is awesome move by Charles. There was some, I don't know the history behind these two, but the Cardano organization and Ripple didn't like each other. But now there's that common enemy. Your enemy's worst enemy is your friend. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. In addition, let's look at the top 50 cryptos over the last 30 days. Stunning moves here. Now, I've said, I've made videos on this. Aptos, Optimism are stupidly expensive. I've talked to you about the tokenomics of other names that are on this list here. But to see, these names fall down so much and catch people by surprise is a bit astounding. Optimism is down 53%, Aptos 48%. MATIC really did fall out of bed, 47%, despite some of the very strong numbers. Apecoin, Algorand, Mana, Phantom, Shiba, Near, Filecoin, EOS, they all got hammered. You have other names in there too that are on the other side that are doing very well. Render is now top of the list. And I hope it's nothing to do with my render video. So let's go a little bit forward. Let's look at some data. Again, the way I invest is I try and identify undervalued assets. If I think something is undervalued, I go in hard. If I see something that I have that I believe to be overvalued, or there's a faster horse, I will swap to it. That's all I do. I don't mean to offend anybody in the process, but here, let's look at some data. This is L1, L2 market cap divided by daily transaction. This is from the AI engine. And you can see here, there's a little tiny little blub, and that's Solana. See the little tiny little blue bar at the bottom? You want this ratio to be very, very small. You want not that much market cap with a lot of activity. That means the shopping mall is cheap. And if you look at other names that are very high, you got Polkadot winning the list and Ethereum second. This is why I still own Ethereum, and I own a lot more Ethereum, and I'll show you guys in a minute how much, than Solana. But the upside is on Solana, but the risk is also on Solana. Therefore, you balance risk and reward. Okay. This is now, next one is L1, L2, transactions over daily active users. You want this one to be big, and about each user on the Solana chain is extremely active. They don't do 1.3 transactions a day like some other chains there. They do a lot. They trade NFTs, they trade on DEXs, they move money around, they buy and sell things. And that is what you want. You don't want somebody rocking into your mall and just buying a glass of water. No, you want them buying shoes and dresses and flowers and plants and TVs and all sorts of things. That's what you want. That's why it's important. Also, another view, L1 daily transactions, all in comparison here. This simple little picture tells you why I believe in Solana. It's not a cult. I'm not shilling it. I only follow data. If a pink line here went above the green line, that's where my money would go. So sorry for being a bit upset, but when I get attacked, I fight back. So let's talk about the other important thing that I believe is extremely important for these SEC cases. A reminder from my video early, this is the Nakamoto coefficient, Solana 34, Cardano 22 from their website, Algorand 13, etc., etc. Even Ethereum has now a Nakamoto coefficient of only 20 because of the huge staking protocols and the concentration there. So that's an important thing too, because if it is truly decentralized like Bitcoin, it's very hard to come after. In addition, this is my crypto bag today, as of right now. Just a reminder of how big my position is. I am now 76.7% Bitcoin, 19.2% Ethereum, and 4.2% Solana. Okay, the Solana position got a little bit bigger because of my trade last night. It was about 3.9% in dollar terms yesterday. Now, back, and I'll talk to you about how my crypto portfolio compares to the rest in a few minutes as well. But this just came out, and it was interesting to see the reaction of altcoins as well when this happened. So I don't know how trustworthy what things are said on Twitter, but there was no community notes, etc. But Bitcoin LFG did say, breaking news, Gary in trouble. Apparently, a U.S. Senator Bill Hagerty hinted at some congressional action against Gary Gensler and the SEC for weaponizing their roles to kill the cryptocurrency industry. There are, thank goodness, honest politicians out there that are going to hopefully bring people to task against some of the activities that are done. We don't know what's going to happen. We'll find out in years' time exactly what this choke point is all about. Who is behind it? Is it Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler being directed by, who knows, the leader of the free world? I don't know, but it'll come through. The truth always floats to the top over time. In addition, Gary Gensler apparently accused of being in complete contempt of Congress with crackdown on Coinbase. So there are people ganging up now against Gary Gensler, and this could turn out ugly for him. In addition, Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, said, "We don't care. We're going to fight you in court. We believe we've got legs to stand on, and we're not going to shut down our exchange, and we're not going to delist Solana, MATIC, Cardano, etc." So kudos to Brian Armstrong. Now let's look at what happened on that little tweet. You can see here, crypto did pump. It's falling back a little bit right now, but you can see how fast this stuff moves. So last night was the big drop in those three names. They kind of follow each other, and then the rebound. And again, it's a 20% haircut on these assets, but it's interesting to see how they all work in unison together and they rise together. And that's the way people should actually be together in this. Anyhow, I do believe the point of the other data charts earlier, forgot to mention, I believe in crypto. I believe it's not going to die. It's only going to become more prevalent, and we're early, and the best chain will win. So let's talk about the rest of the world for 1 second. Let's head over to Dubai. They are building a new Bitcoin tower, which is going to be a center for the crypto industry. Again, Dubai is opening their arms wide. Come to us. They're trying to solicit American exchanges to move over, get as much business as they can. They know it's real. They're smart. They know where the jobs are going to be from, coming from, etc. In addition, not only Dubai, but Hong Kong has arms wide open. Same with London, etc. And the breaking news, Hong Kong legislator invites Coinbase to establish crypto operations there in their country. So again, crypto is not going to go away. Gary Gensler can't kill it. The rest of the world wants it. You can't turn your back on AI. You can't turn your back on crypto. It's coming, like it or not. In addition, I mentioned this before, volume is all Asia. It's probably a lot more Asia now because I showed you multiple volume charts as well as to where things stand. So even if the US disappeared, or heaven forbid, Canada and Mexico and the US disappeared, the industry is still alive and well. In addition, this took me a bit by surprise. I expected the fear to tank a lot or increase, but there's now no fear. We're back at 50 in the fear and greed index, which is completely neutral. Again, it's kind of like the chart I showed where, SEC goes after Coinbase and Bitcoin goes up. It doesn't matter. So people are freaking out. They're losing their minds. And I'm not saying it's not bad, but don't lose your minds. It's as I say, sometimes there are times to run into burning buildings. So let's talk about other consequences of this. When you have countries reaching out to companies in the United States saying, come on over, what's going to happen? Well, people are kind of renouncing their citizenship. This is a number from 2020, very out of date. I couldn't get an updated one, no matter who I asked, even the ChatGPTs, of course. But this was a record number back in 2020, and I expect this number to explode in 2023. I think a lot of people are tired of the crap that's going on with politicians here, with taxes, and the taxes are only going to go up because people need to find ways to pay all the bills, and less than half of the people in the country actually pay taxes. People also want a more relaxed lifestyle, a lower cost of living, and they want freedom. Freedom to buy Cardano if they want, or XRP and things like this. They don't want to be shut down and controlled. The gig is up. We know central bank digital currencies are coming, and people don't like that, and they're voting with their feet. And I always say the fittest rats jump first. Typically, back in the day, if a boat was going down, it would be the rats that jump off quickest. The analogy for me is the fittest rats are the richest people. They leave first, and they're already leaving places like El Salvador and others. Okay, have we had enough crypto? But there's a little more coming in a minute. But I'm going to do a little interlude here with some Tesla news. I drove FSD 11.4.3 last night. Well, I shouldn't say I drove. The car drove. And it was a major leap. It was flawless. It was smooth. The passenger in the car didn't even know it was on until they found out. Then, some people just don't like FSD or the idea of a robot driving them around. It's a big leap. But once you get used to it, actually you trust it more than yourself because it sees things that you don't see. Anyway, it is huge. It is coming. And ever since they moved to version 11, it's massive. And I know people say, oh, FSD is crap, it kills people and everything else. Once you have it and you run the beta in your own car and you see what it can do, then you'll truly understand what it's all about. In addition, I sent this out during the week. The Tesla pub, as I call it, it'll be like, Tesla will own the petrol gas stations, whatever you want to call them, the mega packs for electricity storage. FSD is there. Optimus is coming. But it's just a car company. And I think this was huge. The fact that Ford jumped over first, their charging infrastructure. People don't understand how big this is. And people say, oh, it's going to be longer lines at the gas station to get your car charged. No, it won't, because the US government's giving them money to scale it up. So basically, Tesla gets money for free by opening the door to these car companies that aren't even selling very many EVs anyway. So it's not a problem. Tesla sell a lot more. And the price action for Tesla this year to date is up 126%. We just had a record 11 days straight, and things are just bonkerville out there. But that has an implication for me, because during the dip to when Tesla fell down, I did some crazy things. I made a video about it here. I'll add it about the best trades of the year, and that was a couple of weeks ago. The gains on those trades are more than double because of the rampage that Tesla has been on, and it's also skewed my portfolio, and I haven't rebalanced yet, and I don't know when I will. Maybe after the crypto storm clouds pass. But I used to always be kind of 50% equities, 50% crypto, and my other third leg is kind of real estate. But now, because I got into a lot of synthetic longs and out of the money call options on Tesla, completely crazy, now it's become an oversized position, where a few days ago, my Tesla position is 1.7 times my Bitcoin position. Now it's basically twice the size, which is kind of stunning. And just for perspective, this is the point I really want to hammer home here. My Tesla position was growing so much over this year that even in any given day, the growth in my Tesla position exceeds the size, in just one day, the size of my entire Solana position. So again, this is about allocations. All right, I want people to really understand that very carefully. Back to some macro news. Sorry for going long. There's just so much to share today. Truflation. Look at that interest rate on the left. I feel sorry for the team in the UK on the right. The Truflation there was 13.36, but it is coming down. It did hit 20.9, 21% not too long ago. But now the US Truflation is 2.73%. Obviously, the Fed say their goal is 2% inflation. Well, we're going deflationary fast, ladies and gentlemen. And the recession, whether you like it or see it or not, is probably there because it's definitely in manufacturing numbers. It's definitely in commercial real estate. It's definitely in housing. It's ugly. And that puts the slams the brakes on all prices going up. In addition, no more hikes likely for the next month. There's only a 26.4% chance of a rate hike. So that's good news. And then after that, hopefully they look at some more numbers and hopefully they see that, yes, they've achieved their goal of 2% by breaking things. The stock market doesn't care though, but the stock market is not related. And that's what we've been saying as well for the last 9 months. In addition, US home prices, sadly though, and this is across all of the US, is down for the first time in 13 years. And this per Joe Consorti. Mortgage rates over 7%. I think mortgage rates hit 7.2% this week. Have pushed countrywide average home prices into deflation for the first time since 2012. Yes, you heard the word, deflation. Deflation is not good. Okay, let me explain real quick in a simple term as to why deflation is not good. Because that means the debt explodes for the government and the income goes down. Deflation is the kiss of death, and I hope the Fed are watching this. But seeing this here, you can see the prices fell minus 1.14%, I think. Yes, my eyes are working today. And falling home prices help the Fed on its mission to slow consumer spending since they lower the value of the homeowner's asset, which is the biggest asset that people have pretty much anywhere on earth. That's why we do real estate videos, and bring down their ability to borrow along with it. And nobody's borrowing at 7.2%. Trust me. In addition, upcoming money printer. Why we like money printing? Well, that'll float all boats, and that's why you don't want to be holding fiat. These are just the print auctions coming over the next couple of days. The US started issuing short-term debt this week and will increase the amount it borrows, prints, whatever you want to call it, next week. Next week, $306 billion, a third of $1 trillion in US Treasury debt will mature. And they need to roll this debt into new debt. And that old debt was at 1.5%, 2%. The new debt will be at 5%. See the problem here? Yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot. Same thing I've been saying for a long time. And it will auction off additional bills over the next 4 to 28 weeks. And it'll bring the total borrowing for the next week to $400 billion and add about $100 billion net to the coffers. And then they'll be adding another $3 trillion over the next couple of months, years, whatever. It's insane. So if you take the amount that they are going to print from the new debt ceiling hike, that will bring about debasement by a further 11.6%. Okay? So if you've got $100 in your pocket in 2 years, 1 year, whatever, it's going to be worth, what's that, 88.4%. That's just the math. That's the QE to infinity. That's why we do hard assets like this stuff. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Hope you learned something today. If you did, hit the like. My job is to share information that you will not find anywhere else on the internet. Thank you all for joining. Happy Saturday. And yes, Dancing Horses, T&D Tesla, thank you so much. Ryan, good to see you back. I like that name, Fiat Smack. We have a Fiat Smack in the audience. And Mr. Weston, appreciate you, sir. I know it's hard there being in assets like Solana and stuff, but cream eventually floats to the top. And the data says that each way we look at it. So thank you all for being here. See you all tomorrow for the live Q&A. Bye all.